Hello friends, welcome to CEC Gurukul live lectures. Dear friends, today we are having a wonderful session and this session is on esports, how you can make your careers in esports. And for this discussion, we have with us in our studios Mr. Garv Arora and Mr. Garv Arora to the live session of ours through our special segment called Pratibha Samvardhan. A career counseling session is giving you an insightful thought on how you can make a career in esports. So, I would like to welcome our guest, Mr. Garv Arora, once again. Mr. Garv, welcome to the session. And as through you, we have discussed a lot. What is an esports industry? First of all, you discussed in detail and how one can go about. Now, the question again which is appearing into my mind is when we are talking about entering into this particular industry, having lots of connections, having lots of information, how one can make connections with the other people who are playing this particular sport, I mean this esports, and are there any public forums or apps on which I can enroll myself and get acquainted with the people, with the familiar with the people, or I can gather more information? Are there any?
Yeah, definitely. There are a few platforms, including ESFI's public Discord server, which has over 10,000 people. It not only has updates with regards to esports, it also has opportunity openings if an organization is looking for a graphic designer, say for example, or they want to organize an event. They might be looking for a caster, or they might be looking for an analyst on their team, various kinds of profiles. Since it has 10,000 people, you can easily get in touch with someone through that directly and choose within your field of interest which game you want to play. And on a broader level, when you come to internationally, I think there's GamerLink, which is a platform where you can find people for playing games. Specifically, like you're looking for a team, you can just tell what you're looking for, what interests you have. Are you looking for someone who, if you're looking for a team, are you looking for someone who is more passive in their play, who wants to go all out in their attack, or just you want to play casually? Even there's availability for that. You don't need to, it doesn't need to always be competitive, it doesn't need to be esports. If you just want to meet people as well, you want to network in that way also, GamerLink allows you. You can just filter out what you want in your teammate, and it'll just give you a bunch of options and you can connect with people through that. And there are many Discord servers. Through Discord you can just search esports and it will just give you many servers which have 5,000, 10,000 plus people.
And there we can find, I mean, any kind of information, what esports are being played, who are there, who is there in the industry, what kind of game they play, what are their scores, what are their rankings, everything can be gathered from there.
Everything can be gathered from those servers as well. And aside from that, the games which organize these events, they also have their official servers which have of course over 20,000 to 40,000 people and even over 100,000. So they have so chat does get clogged sometimes and they have to moderate it effectively. And even on that, you can also be a moderator for a Discord server, for say a Teams Discord server which has many people, because you need to handle a server and it doesn't get clogged up with spam or anything of that sort.
So it is one of the another career option if
Yep.
you're into esports, that is of the moderator who will handle the server's difficulty.
And it can also be, you can be a moderator for a tournament as well. Like there's this Vanguard Esports, which I personally am a moderator in their server, and they have another vertical for organizing tournaments called the Mobile Forge, since all their events are held on mobile platforms. And on that they have a separate vertical for tournament moderators.
Wonderful. So one can be a moderator too. This is another option which is being discussed by Mr. Garv Arora. So what else one can do apart from playing, apart from being a moderator? You discussed about one can be a business development manager, a social media person who can handle different activities. Are there other options too?
Yes, there could be other options. As I mentioned, being a sports psychologist, you can easily branch from traditional into esports as well. And if you have a good network and if you have a strong reach beforehand, you can easily get diversify into the esports industry. And you could also be part of league operations. You could you could be an operations analyst for on-ground events, which are referred to as LAN, local area network. These events are obviously held in person, and they have a fixed venue. So if you want to be a part of an organization, you could join their operations vertical and organize on-ground events. And I think this is the field where most people are can easily get into, because since we know this was a more remote held sport, but now it's branching into more in-person events as well, as we mentioned, Olympics, Asian Games, and the global esports games in Saudi Arabia.
As you yourself have told us that you did commentary for one of the games, and
Yep.
we have seen also in the sports traditional sports industry, here we have commentators who commentate for us, and they say कि आंखों देखा हाल बताते हैं कि ग्राउंड पर क्या चल रहा है,
Yep.
बॉल कैसे पहुंची, कहाँ छक्का लगा, कहाँ चौका लगा, और व्हाट्सएवर इज गोइंग ऑन. तो हम चाहे टेलीविजन पर देखें या रेडियो पर देखें उस पर्टिकुलर गेम को, तो हमारे पास आंखों देखा हाल मिलता है because of the commentator. So what are the chances for the commentators here?
I think it's great because of Broadcast GG, as I mentioned. They have openings for on a volunteer level, even if you're looking for entry level paid opportunities, or you want to freelance, or if you're an experienced caster with a portfolio. They every organization has their own requirements. They just post it, and you can directly contact the recruiter through that.
Now, another important question, how lucrative this industry is, because everybody wants to earn, na? Everybody is working to earn good, to have fame as well as name as well as good money too. So how lucrative it is?
Well, it's really lucrative if you are if you are able to win tournaments, of course. The highest earner in BGMI has earned over $600,000 just through playing, and aside from that, they have their organizational earnings as well, which is undisclosed. And if we talk about internationally, the highest earner globally is SKT1 Faker, who has amassed a net worth which is over 13 times that of an average American. And he is also a 7-time world champion of League of Legends. So if you are able to compete against the best, you can earn the best.
If one is, earning so much, it means that this industry, business-wise also, is a booming industry, if I can say, or if I can presume. So, a business development would be the another area which can help one to be in this particular area. What do you feel, sir?
Yeah, business development managers are of the need in most organizations, and since esports has become more has exponentially grown after COVID, because everything went online and events. Esports was already an online industry, so there wasn't much impact to it. In fact, it became more prominent. Even chess is also considered an esport now, with they include grandmasters across the world to participate. Chess.com specifically, they have their Chessable Masters, which is held by Chess.com themselves. So if you're someone who plays chess and wants to get into chess directly, even you can play Chess.com and participate in their online events as well. And coming back to the point, to being a business development aspect in particular, I think, yeah, it's a great field, and if you have experience in the corporate world, I think you can get into esports as well and leverage your existing connections.
Definitely one can do so, and you have told us so many areas where one can excel in esports industry, and it all seems to be very mathematical.
Yep.
Why? Because everywhere you are using your brain, and everywhere the game is on, whether you are physically present or you are present online, but it's all mathematical, whether in terms of playing the game, earning money, or making the business out of it. That's why my reason calling it as a mathematical, a mathematical sports. Now, if we talk about mathematics, yes, mathematics is important, and it has become integral part of esports too, because we have seen number of students, they are playing, they are developing games, they are making games, the e-games. How this industry is booming, and can we include it in esports area?
I think when it comes to developing games, I won't call it an esport per se, but your game can be considered an esport. Now, as we know, all games are developed by someone, and they end up becoming they have a competitive player base, and they just starts off with some players organizing their own events, and eventually it just grows and grows and grows, and eventually third party initiatives are taken, and on your own game and events are held. But I think they go hand in hand, and like one can't exist without the other.
Exactly, because one need to have those games, whether they are produced or developed within the same arena or out of it, but they are ultimately going to be used, or they are ultimately going to be the part of the esports. Now, what do you want to say to the students? I mean, we have different sets of students. Some are very much interested in their studies, some are interested in sports, some after point of time feel that no, we have done lots of studies, now let's be in the sports, because somehow they were not able to make it in the traditional sports industry, and now they have this good option to be in this particular sports area. So what thought would you like to share with them, that sky is the limit?
Yep, sky is the limit, definitely, and if you shoot for the skies, you will reach for the stars.
Of course.
And I think, yeah, since there are few games which are developed in India which have a very good ecosystem, Battlegrounds Mobile, there's CSGO, there's League of Legends, you can pick any of these, there's Valorant as well. These are all widely, they're held global, the international events are held on every year. Overwatch has its World Cup held in the summers every time, and hopefully India can be invited for it someday.
Definitely, India can be invited, and we believe that India could host such events where the other countries can participate. Are there any events organized by India?
Yes, it happened last year. South Korea came for an invitational event. Their BGMI team, their PUBG team came to compete in our country. I think last year it was in the summers only, and it was not an event per se, more like an invitational to judge the current aspects, the current affairs of esports between the two nations, and discuss developments as a whole. And as we know, they are a developed nation in terms of esports. It's a recognized sport in their country, and they of course went on to win the event. But it was a great experience for us.
When the entire world is into esports, then how important it becomes to look to the analytics, because analytics, they help us know how the industry is going. So do we have a particular or certain department, we could say analytics department or an R&D department which analyzes how the people in different parts of the world are engaged in esports?
I think every organization has a business analyst as well as analyst for team's performance, and they of course entail both the corporates, the functioning of the organization, as well as the team, the players that are performing. Because in esports, if you're playing for a team, you're paid based on what you perform, and there's no specific metric to assess except if you're winning everything. That's completely different, but but you can't win everything realistically. So the only way to assess is just have a proper analysis of your performances, and on that regard, every organization has an analyst for their teams, and they analyze. Of course, an analyst analyzes.
Of course,
they
of course.
they cover all the key aspects of the player as a specific, how they're performing across tournaments, how they're presenting themselves to media, because it could affect the organization's rapport as well, and it helps the organization determine how much they should pay the player in specific.
Very true, very true. So it's a big and I would say a huge industry where lots of people have put their efforts, their minds, their money and everything. Now the cause of the concern is, if we talk about our country, and if we really want to grow in the esports era, what is that particular thing we need to take care of, and at what end we need to work basically?
I think we need to work basically on increasing more options, because as I mentioned earlier, there's few groups of teams that are overperforming everyone, and if you can't survive for 2 years, you'll practically start incurring losses and might have to go insolvent, or just seize your business. I think the government obviously acknowledged it now. Recently, the Prime Minister of India met the bronze medalist of the 2018 Asian Games and a few content creators, and discussed on how it's developing as a whole, and wanted their suggestions as well on how they can progress further. I think one thing that could happen is organize a big event like the Invitational that happened last year, and hopefully include various stakeholders, not just within esports but also from traditional sports as well.
And inversely it will help country too, because
Yep.
when more and more people and more citizens or the Indians are involved, or the people from the other countries are involved in some way or the another, we are going to be benefited from this particular sports industry, that is esports industry.
Yeah, definitely. We would be benefited, and it would keep growing exponentially at the moment because of the recent recognitions on a national level, and I feel it will improve employability as well.
Definitely, employability is the another factor which we need to take care of, and on which grounds we are thinking that where we are and what are the areas we can refine. So, Mr. Garvaruda, thank you so much for giving us this particular session, and we believe that the students who were unaware that yes, this is the area also where where we can move forward and have a blessing career. Yes, friends, it is the esports area. If you are really interested in sports, and if you would not be able to play, I mean, the traditional sports in the past years, and now you have this will to be the part of esports, here is the career for you. We are looking forward, and we wish you all the best so that you can make a career in this area. And friends, yes, keep watching us, keep writing us. We are promising that we are going to meet again on another Thursday. Till then, take care of yourselves and keep watching us. Thank you.